Organising a student-ready practice. The idea of taking on medical students can be daunting, especially if you have never hosted student placements in the past and are not sure what to expect. The good news is, with a bit of preparation, many key things can be organised to make the process easier, even before the student ever steps foot in the practice.
We started with only first year students, so it was only in 3 hours here or there every few days, and then we've worked our way up to final year and 5th year. So they're here for much longer, and doctors need to be ready for it.
Being organised and ready for students will help reduce stress levels and make it much easier for both the student and your practice team to successfully navigate through the placement. A good place to start is by informing all staff that a student will be joining the practice for a clinical placement. This could be done during a staff meeting or by speaking to staff individually, or it could also be done in writing via a practice memo.
I find having a timetable, if they're here in particular for final year or 5th year, when they're here for more than 1 week, so when they're here for anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks, have a timetable of the hours that the doctor's working. If you've got allied health staff as well and practice nurses, when they're on, what they're doing, to incorporate home visits, wounds, physio or dietitian, just so they get a bit of variety in general practice.
Make sure you invite staff to suggest activities the student could undertake while in placement. Also let them know that the student would enjoy learning from them.
I have a mental health care nurse here, and they can spend time with her, and there are 2 groups that run by the mental health care nurse, one for bipolar, one for anxiety depression, and the students tend to go to those groups as well, which takes up a couple of hours a day. When the diabetes educator is here, they'll often spend a bit of time with the diabetes educator. When the echocardiogram lady's here, they can spend some time with the echocardiogram lady, etc. But the bulk of the time is with me.
I think the best part of the students is they need to be with, obviously have to have patient contact and work with the GP, but it's more than that in the whole practice. So the fact that they actually get some allocated time with us, with the other allied health services perhaps, with reception to see what's going on there. So and she just, I'm pretty much sure she does like a timetable. So she knows who's here and then can fit the student in so they get a bit of variety.
Learning about all areas, roles and services provided in a practice will help the student get a more comprehensive picture of primary care. Let staff know the days and times the student will be at the practice, as well as the best person to contact in the practice if they have any questions, feedback or concerns about the student. Another recommendation is to put a student orientation pack together, which can be used over time with different students who have placements at the practice.
Definitely always have a confidentiality agreement and a consent form for the student to read through. We usually ask them to get here about half an hour earlier, so they've got time to read that. We also give them the practice information sheet, so they're aware of the other doctors on staff and what they specialise in, and our allied health staff. And definitely go through that with them and show them around the place just so they're aware where coffee and tea is and toilets.
A student orientation pack could include information about your practice facilities such as parking, bathrooms, tea and break rooms, consulting rooms, computer facilities and medical records, etc. Information about services provided at your clinic. A list with the names and roles of practice staff. Who the student can contact if they have any questions or issues. A timetable planner to map activities to undertake during placement. We'll cover this in more detail in part 2 of the training. A form where the student can fill out their essential details, such as main phone number and emergency contact. A list with key practice policies and procedures the student should become familiar with to ensure a smooth introduction into the rhythm of the practice. This could include emergency or duress procedures, infection control practices, and reporting incidents and near misses. A privacy and confidentiality form for the student to sign. Samples of all these documents are available in the download section to the right of the page. This concludes part 1.